Today's day 51 of my 120. I do actually have a little discussion I thought about, and it comes to it goes back to a little bit of, if you guys have been following along, I don't know what day it was, but I spoke about a day where basically you don't want to get comfortable with the guys around you or your senior guys around you, your supervisors or whatever, because when the time does come where someone changes out or a supervisor changes out, if you're still going about laid back way, and they might see that as you're not actually working. And I gotta say, I know I said it before where, when I meet somebody new, I'm not necessarily as laid back as like I am now, but it's because I try to be a little more professional until I get to know the person, whether the person's serious or if they are, laid back as well. So it's all on the type of person. But on the same topic of getting comfortable with somebody and learning their way of doing things, it doesn't mean that's how you do it. And this little topic comes up because currently we've been doing this project forward to the ship, basically just chipping and grinding and wire wheeling everything. And we're gonna make everything, we're not just doing like one little section, we're doing everything. Now I've had 4 or 5 different types of bosuns, and every single one of them has had a different way of doing projects. Most of them are typically think top to bottom when it comes to working on things, because you want to do things that are high rep. That way, like when it comes to painting, if you painted the deck, like if you did the deck first and then you went up to the bulkhead or the overhead or whatever, now you're gonna get drips on your new deck. So the general rule has always been top to bottom, but there's different ways to look at that. So you imagine the deck has all sorts of different things on it. We have like A-frames, they're like supports, they're like outer supports for containers. There's metal boxes for storing stuff, and there's racks for storing lashing gear and whatnot. And I had a bosun before that literally took that top to bottom approach for any project, where okay, there's this metal box and there's these storage units for your lashing gear. These are going to be chipped. They're going to be chipped, feathered. Here we do basically 4 layers: anti-corrosive layer, 2 primers, and a top coat, and then even another top coat, so 5 layers. But typically this other bosun would do the chipping, the feathering, and all the prep work, do the anti-corrosive layer, and then at least 1 coat of primer before ever starting onto the next project, like the deck. And then also, I liked it because it allows you to see things you haven't got yet. Where currently this bosun, and he finally got to a point where it's like, I think we gotta put some primer on this. And I was like, yeah, because we don't know what's done, what's not done, what needs to be chipped, what's not, because there's rust spots without anti-corrosive stuff, but you don't know it because it's been so long since we did it and it's not feathered. Like, it's almost like we're getting ahead of ourselves and not noticing what's done and not done. So today we actually primered a lot. You know, it's not something I ever mentioned, because I've seen before with other bosuns where not me but other guys have gone, oh well, this is how I was taught. And I've seen a bosun just like, well, that's not how I'm doing it. Okay. And really it's up to the boat. If the bosun wants it done a certain way, then do it a certain way. If he wants you to paint up and down instead of sideways, then I mean, paint up and down, whatever. I don't. This bosun's cool though. I mean, he tells us to throw out ideas, you know, just whatever we think. And I've had some of my other bosuns have been that way too. Some of the other ones, it's like, if you pitch an idea, they're gonna do the exact opposite. So that's why I learned to just not pitch ideas unless they generally ask for an idea. That's what I'm saying with, you can't, because you learned one way of doing things, don't assume that's how every project's gonna get done. Because every single project I've done here under different bosuns has been done a different way. I had one bosun that really wanted everything chipped and feathered, and you know, that creates a lot of chippings and dust and everything. We had gone almost a week and a half, 2 weeks, chipping and wire wheeling, and when we would go to sweep, he'd tell us to stop sweeping. And you just say, no, just keep chipping, just keep wire wheeling, just keep going. And it was like a week and a half, almost 2 weeks later, the captain had come down and was like, why aren't you guys cleaning this stuff up? Because there's piles and piles. Like, it got to the point where even though the bosun said not to sweep, we had to sweep because we couldn't see what we were chipping. There's so much dirt and so much chippings everywhere, you couldn't possibly even do the job. So he was like, okay, we'll just put them in piles. So they were in piles, but they weren't actually picked up. Then at the end of that, like 2 weeks, the captain came down. It's like, what the hell is going on here? Because by the end of that 2 weeks also, all the stuff we had originally chipped had started to get flash rust on it. So then that had to be rewire wheeled. And I mean, that bosun had 20 years of experience. But where he got the idea of just keep chipping, keep wire wheeling, and don't put any kind of primer or anti-corrosive layer or anything on it, his idea was to get everything chipped, everything feathered, and then do the anti-corrosive and the 2 primers and the top coats all at one time. So it was like chip, feather till everything's done, anti-corrosive layer everything, primer everything, top coat everything. But that just doesn't work, not when projects take 2 weeks long. This current bosun, like I said, I didn't pitch the idea, but I really should have, because he finally, like, he admitted it himself today. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, we can't see nothing, but we've just been doing this anti-corrosive layer, which is a clear coat. Now this clear coat has, between the weather we've been having and dust and dirt getting on it and people walking on it, it's kind of like degraded to a sense to where you don't even know if it's clear coated or not clear coated, because it's being like degraded over time. We've pretty much just been doing that. Like, we have a solid almost week and a half of chipping, feathering, and clear coat, the anti-corrosive coat, and no primer. Today, like I said, we primered everything, and now you can clearly see, because all of us primered everything that needed primer, and you could clearly see what things still needed to be chipped, still needed to be feathered, and never even got a layer of clear coat, the anti-corrosive, because we went through and found everything that needed primer, which also found all the things, all the little spots that haven't been done at all. But it's interesting to see different processes of different people. And out here, I mean, you kind of got to collect a little from everybody, because that's how it works. You know, you pick up this guy's process, that guy's process, and you just make your own. And that's pretty much what all of us have done out here. But don't get carried away, and don't make any suggestions unless asked for a suggestion or an idea, because that can get you either on bad terms, or it can get you doing the exact opposite of that idea. And I don't suggest suggesting the opposite idea of what you want, because that might just get you doing that. That's what I got for you guys tonight. Please subscribe, please like, share, comment. I hope that all made sense. I feel like that last part was kind of confusing even for myself. But go check out the website, guys. It should definitely be up. 51 120.